So on today's podcast, I've got Jordy here. Jordy is one of the lead instructors for IKSUP right in the Netherlands. Have I got that right, Jordy?
Yes, completely correct.
Excellent. So Jordy is 26. In 2016, he moved from Almere to the village Loosdrecht in the Netherlands. And something for him that started out as just kind of exploring the village by a paddleboard has resulted in a sport and a bit of a career, really. Last year, he decided to do his ASI instructor level 1, and then 6 months later, he did the level 2. In 2021, he fully focused on SUP competition in the Netherlands, and this year he did his first EuroTour in Namur, I think that is.
Yeah,
And we're going to talk about that shortly because that's going to be pretty exciting. For IKSUP, as I said, he's one of their lead instructors, and the favourite type of lessons Jordy likes to do are the technical lessons and preparing people for the SUP 11 City Tour, a very big, famous event in the SUP world. His passion within SUP is efficient paddling and to get the most out of other people and out of their capacity in their paddleboarding. So some exciting things there. I really have a passion for technique as well. So what I'd like to talk about first, Jordy, is your background and how you got into water sports.
Yeah, actually that has like everything to do with moving from the village where I grew up, so in Almere, back to Loosdrecht, because Loosdrecht is like really a water sport village. So I never did water sports in Almere because like they have water, but it really didn't exist. My friends didn't do it, so I was just playing soccer and that kind of stuff, table tennis a lot. But then in Almere, in Loosdrecht, I started with like exploring the village by water because like there's water everywhere here. So if you would like to explore the village, just do a canoe or do something new. So stand-up paddleboarding was something new, so let's try that. And then it started with actually water sports. So I absolutely love water, like swimming and that kind of stuff. But like doing something on the water was completely new. So that started like now 5 years ago. Yeah, but just doing it one time. Then I did like just once in a while, like I think once a year, and then I think last 2 years that's was started as a new hobby, as a new sport. So so yeah, that's how it started.
And what led you to want to become a paddleboarding instructor then? What was the reason for that?
I joined one of the trainings groups, and then I felt, okay, like this is really, really nice to do. And then it went out that I turned like quite good in it. So I was like doing, I did my first competition, and then I said like, okay, then my friend said like, yeah, we would like to go as well, but we need to do some training. Then I said, okay, let's go. Maybe we should have like more instructors, because I was already helping out on the school, but then more doing like a rental and not giving lessons and that kind of stuff. Then I say, okay, let's just make sure that I know what I'm doing when I'm in front of a group, and then that's where I started like to become an instructor. So and it's actually really nice because you learn a lot. So
yeah, I see. I mean, I did my course a long time ago, but there was lots thrown in there, you know, all your risk management, everything else. I mean, technique is in there as well, and that's something I want to come to shortly to talk to you about. So I'm keen just to talk a little bit more about how you're exploring Loosdrecht, the village, by paddleboard. I've almost got this idea of like a kind of a Kevin Costner water world, but a really nice version of like, you know, everyone gets around on the water. So is it a series of canals and rivers and lakes, or
yeah,
how does it work?
You have actually two big lakes here in Loosdrecht. So you have the really big lake, and that's like where a lot of boats are. And on the other side of the village, you have like the nature reserve. So my apartment is at the nature reserve. So I already saw on Google Maps, like, okay, there should be a lot of green behind my house, but I don't see it. So how do I reach there? So the only thing by reaching that is by going on the water. So you can swim to it, or you can do like rent a paddleboard and then just hop on and do. It's just actually like a whole. There's actually like a route how to go through the nature reserve. So so we felt like, okay, that's nice. So we can do like 5 kilometers of like paddleboarding, going through the nature of our backyard and then see what's in there. So that was actually pretty nice to explore.
Yeah, what an amazing backyard. It beats mine. Mine's got a trampoline in it and a kid's paddling pool, so it's much better than mine. So on when you're out there, what kind of wildlife do you expect to see? Is there much water life or animal life?
It's of course just a lot of wildlife. So you have like a lot of ducks, different kind of duck sort types, and then of course you get like a lot of birds. So we have like the ice bird, which sometimes you see them, and of course deers. So mainly when it's like getting to sunset, then you see and it's like a really quiet day, then you have the most a chance to see them. But like yesterday, when there are like for you feeling like 1 million people in the nature reserve, then you won't see them because it's way too crowded. So mainly like in the spring, autumn, when there's not a lot of people on the water, then you have the best chance to see them. So
Brilliant. Do you guys get orcas up there, or is that
sorry, the
not
weekend.
correct? Orcas, killer whales.
No, it's like
No.
it's like an inside lake. So it's
Okay.
so not that kind of wildlife, just small wildlife.
Small wildlife, the stuff that's not going to bite you. Not that they do. Okay.
So no
So
crocodiles, that kind of stuff. Just like ducks, goose, that kind of wildlife. Not the most excited.
very similar to ours. So we get some big pikes sometimes in the lake that we see now and again, but it's very rare. But nothing too exciting. So I want to touch a little bit now on the fact that in 2021 you decided to focus on stand-up paddleboarding competition. So what was the reason for that?
Actually, what was the COVID? So because of COVID, we got like a lot of time. I was working remotely, so I have more time to train. And then also it was like, okay, like what's life in it? So let's focus on one thing. And that was like I already had the plan to do the Super 11 City Tour last year. So I also did, and then it was like it went actually pretty well. So I was already training for that part. So but then we said, okay, and just let's focus on for 2022 for like doing more competitions and to train even harder for that. So actually it was just like because of we had more time and more focus, then okay, let's pick one point to focus on, and that was doing sub competitions. But also because we found out that a lot of guys in our training group, they would like to do also a little bit more of like competition kind of stuff. So okay, then it also makes us like, okay, then let's we do the experience so we can train them better. And then yeah, it's actually a combination of two things, because we really like it and we would like to share our experience with the training groups that we lead.
Okay, and what's a sort of a typical training session for you? What kind of things are you looking at when you're training?
When we give lessons or
No, your
in general?
personal training for an
Personal.
event.
Yeah, it really depends on like the training. So we are mainly like our head event is the Super 11 City Tour. So we do like a lot of distance trainings because like Super 11 City Tour, for the people that don't know, it's like 5 days, 220 kilometers. So it's like 40K a day. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So we do like a lot of distance paddling, but because we are here at a lake, it's quite open water, which means like here in the Netherlands, you have a lot of wind. So we try to go a lot on the lake to train the balance and how to play around with waves, how to play around with boats, how to play with direction. So because also Super 11 City Tour have like 2 really big waves. So if we train a lot on our lake, we have like a little bit more experience in the Super 11 City Tour. And of course, like on every Wednesday, we train with our coach, and then it will be like more intervals and being the fastest on like smaller distance parts. So it's a bit of everything, but mostly is focused on like getting more experience in tough situations.
Yeah. And are you sort of going through the nutrition and all of that side, or yeah, or is it
Yeah.
kind of just focused on the paddling?
No, it's going more in both directions. Like, because if you pedal more, you sports more, so you need to eat more, and then what are you going to eat? So it's like you can't sport without being aware of your nutrition and that kind of stuff, because then you don't get the best performance. So it's going hand in hand.
Yeah, I think
But
to
yeah,
fuel 40 kilometers a day is a tall order. You can't just, you know, be eating a quick chocolate bar or something and off you
no,
go. You've got to really be thinking about it, I suppose, on the lead up to the competition anyway, haven't
yeah,
you?
and how to open a chocolate bar when you have wet hands? It's not possible. So it's more
That
than just like, okay, what do I need to eat? But also like, it's like a competition. Like, how am I going to eat this? So um, yeah, it's like those guys are not gonna wait for you if you finish your chocolate bar. So you need to be quick.
yeah, definitely. And have you been tempted because you did the Euro tour in Namur.
Yeah.
Tell me a bit about that. So what did that involve? What were you doing? Races every day or?
No, that was just a long distance race. So it was like 14 kilometers, yeah, something like that. But that one was more like for us, more like for the experience, because like we know we're not for going for the top 3 or top 10 or whatever. It was just to gather some more experience, because the more experience we get, the more helpful it will be in our training and that kind of stuff. So but that was actually a quite good event. I think I ended up like 15th place or something, so pretty okay. I was pretty happy with it.
Yes.
And it's just like with going upwind, going downwind, so a lot of boats. So then I was like really happy that the trainings that we do here in Loosdrecht is like always with boats or choppy conditions. So then at least then you know how to deal with that. So that was really helpful. And like, of course, like starting with the men is always a challenge. So much job, so much power, and then yeah, it's always fun, but always that you said like, okay, if you look at those videos, then you say like, okay, how can I survive this? So it was more like for us gathering a lot of experience, and that turned out pretty well. My wife was there as well, and she turned out like on the third position, so it was nice. So for the first EuroTour on position 3, it was nice. Her coach was on 1, so it was a good day.
Yeah, definitely. And there is, I mean, I've done a few races and I haven't raced for a long time now, but the
Yeah,
chaos of a race start, like the first time I ever experienced that, I think it was on a race called the Head of the Dart, which is on a tidal river. And yeah, there were loads of paddleboarders. And as soon as that whistle went, the water just turned into, you just fight just to stay on your board and keep a bit of a position until the pack kind of evened out. So I suppose
yeah,
it's things like that with race training, isn't it? It's not just the fitness element, it's the strategy of racing, and it's the mindset of racing at all.
yeah.
And what do you kind of, where's your head when you're racing? Do you kind of have to get into a zone or somewhere where you need to be for it?
I'm still really in the exploring phase. So at the moment, it's still everywhere. So sometimes I race with music on, or sometimes without, just to see what's working or not. So last weekend we had like Dutch championships, and then for the first time I had a race with no music, and it was like the planning was to do 18 kilometers, but then it turned out in 10 when we was crossing the finish line. So then it's like, okay, the strategy is completely different. So then so it's mainly focused on like, I really try to like focus on the people that are around me. So on the start line, so where do you start, and then just trying to finding the flow when you're on the way. But like I'm really destructive all the time. So also when doing a competition, I'm just like getting the most beautiful ideas, but not really focusing on the race. So it's a learning point for me as well, to just keeping the focus. But on the other hand, it's like it still needs to be a lot of fun. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm still like in the exploring phase. Not really a good strategy yet.
Brilliant. And so the other thing that you like to do, so we're going to talk a little bit about IKSUP now and what
Yeah.
they do. So one of the things that you enjoy doing particularly is the technical side of the sport. So talk to me a little bit about, you know, if we're teaching, as it's paddle stroke really, isn't it? But when we're teaching the technical side of the sport, what's important for somebody to learn and to know?
Yeah, for me, I think the most fun of is of course like mainly when you, for instance, when you're doing competitions, if you know how to glide the board as much as possible, then you need to work less. So sometimes you see like that the people are like quite exhausted or have like a lot of injuries, and then you say, okay, but we can prevent them or we can help them if you have the good techniques. So I think that's mostly like I think like a lot of people that come for a technical lesson, they say, yeah, I pedal, but it hurts every time. And then we say, okay, alarm bells, and then okay, we need to fix something. I think that's where the point where I get like the most excitement out of that, like people are more free on the water and actually love the standard paddleboarding instead of like having the feeling that they're sporting. Of course they are sporting, but not from the arms, but like more core level. So a different way of sporting, and then getting more strength of it, and then having more fun without injuries. I love that part. So it's also the toughest part, but yeah, it's a good challenge because it's every time different. Because I've never had an student at a lesson that has like the same issues. For instance, of course, it's mostly shoulders or back, but it's never the same. It's always different.
Yeah, I think each individual is completely unique. I mean,
Yeah.
I tend to teach more of the kind of the beginners. I love getting people into the sport. I do a bit of coaching and video analysis stuff with people. And one technique I found really useful on that kind of level is video footage and just filming them and then get them to watch back what, you know, the feedback that you've given them. So would you, I mean, if you had to kind of give, and I'm putting you on the spot a little bit here, but what would be kind of your top tip really for technique? If there was one thing that you know you would share with people as to good technique, what would that be?
Good technique. Yeah, I think it's, of course it's a lot, but like sometimes we forget like how important legs are with standard paddling. So if you are like, you see like a lot of people that are just standing up way too straight, and then they feeling unbalanced, and then just paddling something, and then with the first wave they are in the water because they don't feel comfortable on their board. So I think if you have good legs and you know how to stand on your feet really well, and that's like feeling comfortable with your board, then everything is easier to learn, but also to get more power in every stroke and that kind of stuff. So I think like if you start at the bottom of like doing a technical lesson and you go upwards, and then you fine tune everything bit by bit. But I think start with legs and of course core, but like that's step two. Like having standing a bit comfortable on your board, that's the most important thing. Because otherwise you can say straighten your arms, but like it doesn't even matter. Because people are thinking like, oh, I don't want to fall. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think, like you say, if somebody's not comfortable on their board, they're going to do less. They're not going to push themselves that little bit. So yeah, before you even get into any kind of technique and, you know, how best to hold the paddle and move your body, you've got to be comfortable on the board, haven't you? So that's good advice. I like it. So IKSUP. So you're an instructor for IKSUP. Tell me a bit about them, how they operate, what they do, how long they've been going for.
I think it's now here in Loosdrecht for 10 or even more years already, around 10, I think. But 2 years ago, the previous school owner, they sold the company to one of the head instructors at that moment. So that's Marguerite now at the moment. And they just doing now like the previous school owners. They're now doing only the dog sub and the shop. So we have like two sub companies in one village, but we're doing completely different things. So we mainly focus on like giving the lessons and rental of the boards. So from chill parties to like bachelor parties to everything what you can imagine doing on a sub we do. So we do that now with like 11 instructors. So they all have at least ASI level 1. So that's pretty nice. So that's going well. And actually, like we all do it like as a part-time job. So we all have like our own jobs, and then we just like in spare time, we work like at the school, just to during the weekends or the evenings or whenever, and we're free to help out and try to bring our passion of the sub sport to all other people. That's I think that's the main thing what we do. And like every instructor have their own like thing that they're really good in. So I think my wife and I, we are really bad in doing birthday parties with children. So we have instructors that are really good in it, and they have more passion about it. So they will do all the birthday parties, and you will do like all the stuff that we are good in. So it's good that we're with a lot of instructors, and we know where we are good in and where we need to improve. So we can always give people the best experience. So
Yeah, definitely. You've got to play to some of these strengths. I think whenever I've delivered instructor training, one of the things I try to do is find that person's personality and who they are and what they're going to be best suited to. Because as you say, you're going to get some people that are going to totally embrace a big group of kids doing a birthday party and absolutely love it. And then, you know, a different person would be, that would be kind of their worst case scenario, you know, having 20 kids of them on the water. So yeah, I think your personality does leak into the kind of paddling that you do, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Like you need to put indeed the instructor in his strengths, but because otherwise it will be a disaster. And yeah, that's not good. Mainly here, so like a lot of boats and a lot of like open water. So you should have some experience in it, or at least go with more instructors at the same time. So
Yeah. So do you guys get, is your business mainly the tourist trade? Is it a bit of a tourist hotspot where you are? Or is it more local people?
it depends a little bit day by day. So like summer period is of course a little bit more tourist, mainly in the weekends. But like we also do have like a lot of training groups. So those are like more local. So like rentals, like 99% is like, or like maybe 90% is tourists. So we see them once, but like also we see them like a lot of returning customers, like for rental part. But then all the classes mainly are like people that are living close by, would like to learn more, or like coming every week to train. So it's a little bit of everything actually. So it's mixed.
Yeah. And so going back to the challenges and things that you've been doing, that you know, the EuroTour, what does 2020, I know we're quite a way through though now, and obviously we're all busy working, but what does 2022 going into 2023 hold for you? Are you going to do some more races, or
Yeah, definitely. So I think the Sub 11 City Tour is like, I think again one of the main goals, just to beat time, but also like to get more people from our school on that event and to help them in participation, maybe also the competition. So that would be really fun. But it's also for myself, we already now are doing some more competitions in Belgium, because they have like the Belgium Sub Tour. So it's like 10 competitions around the year. So we missed a lot this year, so we would like to do them all next year. And also like maybe more Euro tours that are a little bit more close by. So yeah, I'm definitely getting more and more experience in doing those competitions. And then you will see where we are going. But indeed, yeah, it's so much fun to do them. So going with camper, get some doing some city trips. It's too much fun to just skip them. So yeah, compare with this year, and next year will be way more competitions, and the skill level will be and needs to be higher. So yeah.
and do you think you guys might do a competition in sort of on your home turf? Is there any ideas for that?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we have like the winter competitions here in the Netherlands. So I hope we can do one winter cup at IKSUP this winter. And yeah, maybe and maybe next year as well. So we never done a competition organized yet, but like we know a lot of friends of us does. So yeah, we will have something in the planning, but not. We will see how that goes. So it will be fun because it's our conditions are a bit challenging because we have like open lake. So
Yeah.
and a lot of people like more like enclosed water. So yeah, like the small canals or like smaller lakes. So our like our sub school has like a really nice conditions, but like for competitions, yeah, we can make them really difficult as well. So I hope we can do like a difficult competition, but then we will see how much competitors are coming. So
Yeah, because you're getting with competition, I think you've got two sets of people, haven't you? You've got the people that are brand new to it and want to give it a try, and it might be a bit of a fun thing, a shorter distance. And then obviously you've got the people that are into the competition element and
yeah,
beating their own times and working their way up the podium. So I suppose, you know, almost sometimes a nice, good race series attracts both types of people, doesn't it?
yeah, definitely, I agree. And of course, like we have also the smaller lake. So if you would like to do a competition, we can also go to the smaller lake, for instance. But like then it's more like then it's easier. So we have like a couple of team riders here in the Netherlands. So of course we would like to challenge them as well. So yeah, so because otherwise they're not coming. So of course it would be fun if you can make something in between that is fun for both parties. So for our trainers groups to participate, but also for like the team riders to really challenge them to take the win. So yeah.
Brilliant. And have you got any plans to come to England? You've got a good few races over here. This weekend, I'm part of an event called the Trent 100, which is it's more of a challenge, a distance challenge. It's a team-based event. That's over 2 days, so it's 100 kilometers over 2 days. So it's about 50-ish each day, give or take. So any plans to come and join us over here to do some of the competitions?
Not really actually, but like friends of one of our Belgian friends, they went to Noordval's competitions, if I'm saying correct.
Yeah.
I think it was last weekend or maybe the weekend before. But yeah, I don't see them coming like in one of the sub calendars coming past by. So maybe I need to keep a more eye on it because it will be fun. And like it's more like I think more river competitions, right? So that's something we
Yeah.
don't have here in Belgium or in the Netherlands. So also with like streams and that kind of stuff. So that would be fun.
Yeah, you'd
Something
certainly
different.
something different. You guys would certainly be more than welcome to come over here and give it a go. So my kind of final question to you, Jordy, is where did we sort of touch on it a little bit, but where do you see the future for yourself and IKSUP?
Um, Good question, actually. I think mainly for IKSUP, I think the school will, of course, like we see the schools growing like year by year. So that's I think that will be continued. But you see like different people are coming to the schools now. So you see like more training school coming up, but also like people that would like to rent more, and you also see like a lot of people are buying their own subboards. So you see like a shifting from like rental to like, yeah, but I will bring my own board. So I think the rental part will be like less every year, but like not completely gone. But like the like giving the lessons or like teaching people or giving advice in what kind of boards that will be growing more and more. And I really hope that the competition also in the Netherlands will be getting bigger, that is what we are seeing at this moment. So I really hope that we will continue with our competition training groups that we have now and making them bigger, so we can also like have some good competitions at our location. And yeah, and how more people are getting excited about stand-up paddleboarding is how better it is. So especially in water village like Loosdrecht. So it's not only for touring, but also like just a sport. And I hope more people are understanding that as well. So
Super duper.
yeah, we will see what the future brings. But yeah, I think it will be really positive. Like mainly for the stand-up paddleboarding sports, it's like sport will be growing. So
Yeah, it's not going anywhere, is it?
Yeah,
It's here to
definitely.
stay.
Yeah, I just hope that like more people are seeing it more as a sport than just like I will buy the cheapest board and then, oh, it sinks. Yeah, of course. Look at what you have.
Yeah. I was
So
having a conversation with somebody the other day, and they were saying to me that, stand-up paddleboarding is a sport, and that's how it needs to be seen, not as, it's not a novelty thing. It has elements of competition to it and stuff. And
yeah,
yeah, over here in the UK, we've got obviously the budget brand boards and things like that that are coming through and have exploded into the market, and you're getting people buying the equipment that aren't necessarily experienced enough. So there's quite a big push at the moment for safety and for
yeah.
people understanding how to use the equipment and have lessons as well. So I'm assuming it might be a similar sort of experience for you guys over there. You're getting a lot of people kind of getting out on the budget brand boards and not really kind of knowing what's going on.
Yeah, definitely. And like mainly like people really underestimate like that it is a sport. So if you're not physical really well and then like going on a hot day on the wall on a paddleboard is just not a good idea. Like you should know
Yeah,
what you're doing. Or at least make sure that people are around you. Like we don't have like really big rivers or dangerous rivers as many I think in the UK. So it's like it's just lakes or like quite still water. So that makes it a little bit more safe because like the bigger rivers are just not allowed to paddle on. So, but yeah, we see like a
yeah,
lot of shit boards on the water, and then people just have a bad experience about stand-up paddleboarding, which isn't needed. So that's a pity, but that's how it goes. Yeah.
yeah. Same here, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Jordy, it's been fantastic talking to you. I appreciate you giving up your time today to have a chat to us. The
Yeah. No
podcast should
worries.
be out in the next couple of weeks. So thank you very much. If you just stay on the line afterwards. Yeah, have a great time. We look forward to seeing more from you guys and seeing the competition scene soon.
Yeah. Hope to see you soon. Will be fun.